الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولقد جاءكم موسى بالبينات ثم اتخذتم العجل من بعده وأنتم ظالمون وإذ أخذنا ميثاقكم ورفعنا فوقكم الطور خذوا ما آتيناكم بقوة واسمعوا قالوا سمعنا وعصينا وأشربوا في قلوبهم العجل بكفرهم قل بئس ما يأمركم به إيمانكم إن كنتم مؤمنين صدق الله العظيم. From Ayat number 92 of Surat Al-Baqarah, the rabat and connection of these ayat to the previous ayat is that in the previous ayat, more specifically the previous ayat number 91, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned that whenever the Bani Israel are told to believe, whenever the Bani Israel are told to believe in the revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this Quran, this Kalamullah, and accept the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Bani Israel, they refuse to accept on the basis that they claim they only believe in the revelation that was revealed to them, and they don't believe in anything that came after it. And though they make this claim, in reality they don't even believe in the revelation that is given to them, because history has proven that whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent to them Anbiya alayhimus salam, prophets and messengers, they either rejected the Nabi of the time or they killed the Anbiya alayhimus salam. So if they make this claim that they believe in the revelation that has been given to them, then why did they kill the Anbiya alayhimus salam? And so many that they killed throughout history, if they're really claiming to believe. We don't kill someone out of happiness. We don't kill someone as a joke, or we agree with someone and we kill them. We kill someone because we disagree with what they're saying, or out of disagreements it can lead to murder or to killing someone. So the Bani Israel, they did not agree with the message that the Anbiya alayhimus salam came to them with. They did not agree with the message of the Rusul and the messengers and the prophets. And when the Anbiya alayhimus salam would prove the authenticity of that message, so the Bani Israel, they could not face the fact that they would have to give up their positions. They would have to give up their power. They would have to give up many things, even their desires. So they were not ready to do these things. And because of this, they ended up having enmity and animosity against the Anbiya alayhimus salam, and they would resort to killing them. And the greatest lesson, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives one of the greatest examples, that if they could not kill the Rusul or the messenger, then they would openly reject them, deny them, turn against them. The greatest example is the example of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, وَلَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ مُوسَى بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ. And Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, he came to you with al-bayyinat, very clear proofs, very clear evidence, numerous mu'jizat and miracles. So many miracles Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave to Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. Even before the Bani Israel, came out of Misr and Egypt. In their presence, they saw how many miracles Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam was displaying with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in opposing Fir'aun, in all of the various punishments that came against Fir'aun. The Bani Israel witnessed all of this. They witnessed the Asai Musa, the staff of Musa alayhi salam. They witnessed the Yadi Bayda, the shining hand of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. And they witnessed so many other miracles. They also witnessed so many different punishments that came against against Fir'aun and his people. The flood, they witnessed the frogs and the locusts and the like. They witnessed all of these various punishments. And that was even before they left Misr. And when they were leaving Egypt, they saw one of the greatest miracles where the sea was split for them. It split into 12 barriers. Each tribe knew its own path. It had 12 paths in its way. And the Bani Israel saw all of this. When they crossed, they saw the army of Fir'aun coming and how the water even crushed Fir'aun and his army right in front of them. And then in the open desert, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them the shade of clouds, gave them man and salwa for food and drink, gave them springs for drink of water, very, very clear and pure water. And after that, so many other miracles. And yet they didn't believe. Sometimes we give da'wah to someone, and the first thing they say is that, show us a sign. If it was because of signs that people accepted deen, then the Bani Israel were supposed to be the strongest believers. They saw so many miracles in their lifetime, and yet they didn't believe. This means that miracles are not an evidence, or miracles are not even a reason that someone may accept. Yes, they are evidence of the nubuwah of a prophet. They are evidence of the prophethood of a prophet. Even at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, so many miracles he showed to the kuffar of Makkah. How many miracles Abu Jahl saw? And yet he didn't believe. He witnessed the splitting of the moon. How more? It was a full moon. He witnessed this. He witnessed so many miracles at the hands of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So much so that even Abu Jahl used to tell his friends that sometimes you would see Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam walking by. So he used to tell his friends, he said, I know that he's on haqq. I know that he's a true prophet. So the kuffar and disbelievers, his friends used to tell him, why don't you believe in him? He said, because if I believe in him, then I have to admit that he's better than me. That's how much arrogance he had. So seeing miracles or seeing signs, there's not always, yes, in some cases, yes. In quite a few cases, sometimes people can see a miracle and it will become a means of their hidayah and guidance. But not on every occasion or on all occasions. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it very clear here. In ayat number 92 of Surat Al-Baqarah, وَلَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ مُوسَى بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam came to you with so many signs. And rather than believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after witnessing all of these miracles, ثُمَّ اتَّخَذْتُمُ الْعِجْلَ مِنْ بَعْدِهِ You still took a ijl as worship, you took a calf as worship. When Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, he went to do i'tikaf with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for 40 nights. You people couldn't stay on deen for 40 nights. You ended up worshipping a calf, something made out of gold and glamour, whatever it was. You ended up resorting to shirk. وَأَنْتُمْ ظَالِمُونَ And you were zalim doing this. That you're claiming that we only believe in what has been revealed to us. The revelation that came to you was the Torah that was given to Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. And he was given this Torah for you, the Bani Israel. And when you rejected this Torah after you had worshipped the calf, then you asked to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And even then you were punished for this. You were even killed and brought back to life. And even then you did not believe. Imagine someone dying and coming back to life, and even then they're saying we don't believe. What more proof can you? So they told the chiefs were telling their people, we don't know, we heard something, we saw something. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raised the Mount of Tur on top of them. And you might think how heavy the mountain of Tur is. One mountain floating on top of someone's head. Do you know the weight of one cloud? How much one cloud weighs? It weighs more than mountains. Some of these clouds can hold water more than even the Niagara Falls. How much water one cloud I don't know how these scientists were able to go up there and check how much water is in one cloud. I don't know which injection they gave to find out this technology of how much water one cloud has. But they're telling us. In fact, one of the heaviest things ever weighed by us human beings, the heaviest thing in weight that we've ever been able to weigh, is a Category 5 hurricane cloud. You know that spinning hurricane? It weighs over 1 billion tons. How many billions of tons it weighs? This is how much we've been able to weigh. So this is how much one cloud can take. So thinking Mount Tur flying on top of someone is not something difficult to believe. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the next ayah, ayat number 93, that, O Bani Israel, you claim to believe in the Torah that I gave to Musa alayhi salam. I forced you to believe in it. After all of the miracles, after all of the signs, after all of these an'amat and favors, even then you were rejecting. وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَكُمْ وَرَفَعْنَا فَوْقَكُمُ الطُّورِ. Then we took a mithaq, a covenant from you, and we raised the Mount Tur on top of you. And it floated on top of them, and it came down so low that they were on their knees. By force, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, what more? You give someone so much, and even then they reject. Point comes where you have to force them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knew their nature. He did all of this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done all of this with the Bani Israel, so that we as Muslims, as believers, we can also understand that it's not because of miracles, it's not because of forces someone will accept. La ikraha fid deen, there's no compulsion in religion. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knew in His infinite wisdom and knowledge that they were going to reject. They were going to openly reject, but He gave them a chance to do so. So that when the final message comes, when the final deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes, you'll find people that will accept this deen without seeing a single miracle. You'll find people who accept this deen without any proof. But they'll understand how hidayah and how the nur of hidayah works, how guidance works, how the light of guidance works. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts it in the heart of someone, they don't even need proof. They understand. You know, intelligent people, even if you try to explain to them otherwise, they know what truth is. Also, you know, what is right is right. You know, a famous saying that what is original, what is authentic, everybody knows. You know, and what is fake, no matter how much you dress it up, in the end, people know. You know, this is just, yes. Sometimes on these internet, people make themselves what they're not. But you know, the vast majority of the people know this is just a joke. You know, this is just a joke. Because the true people who are true and authentic, you don't need to dress the truth. Everybody understands this is haqq. And there are numerous examples, so many examples. Even in our day-to-day lives, sometimes we go through difficulty, we know where to go, we know who to turn to, we know which ulama to seek out. There was one of the great shuyukh of the time, it was at the time of the tabi'een. So there was a woman whose child had been kidnapped. So she went to this one sheikh, one of the tabi'een, who was very, very simple, down to earth. He just used to have his class, his dars, he used to teach people. So she came to his dars and she came to him and said, you know, can I request something? He said, okay, what is it? After the dars, all the people were sitting. She said, you know, my son has been kidnapped. Can you make dua for my son? So the tabi'i, he looked at her, he said, you know, I'm only teaching Quran and Sunnah. I don't know what you think of me. There are many other shuyukh who are claiming that they deal with this. She said, yeah, but I know the original from the talkers, you know. He said, oh, I'll make dua. I don't know, what the case will be. So he made dua. He said something under his breath and just quietly. And he said, inshallah, you'll find your son. Don't worry. So this woman went home. And hardly 2 nights later, her son came home. And he also had some animals with him, some sheep and things with him. So the mother said, what happened? What is the whole story? So the next day, the third day, the sheikh was giving the dars. The woman came with her son, brought some sheep also. And she came to the sheikh and she told her son, okay, now explain your story to this sheikh. So the boy, he said, 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago, my captors had taken me, they locked me in a room. He said, all of a sudden in a dream, I saw Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. And I saw some other righteous people and, they were telling me that someone has made dua, you'll be freed. Your mother has made dua. He said, when I woke up, the chain that the ropes and thing they'd used to tie me, everything was gone. He said, I came to the door and I opened the door, and the guard who was supposed to be guarding me, he was, mashallah, deep sleep, And he said there was some sheep and things there. So I figured, you know what, this is Mali Ghanima, spoils of war. So yeah, I took it and I came home, The guard was in his own, he was sleeping. There was some group of people had kidnapped me. So he said, I came here with these sheep and these animals. The Shaykh told him, yes, your mother did make dua for you. She came to me and requested me to make dua for you. So you got the dua of your mother. So the mother said, so what did you say? The mother told the Shaykh, what did you say? Shaykh looked at her and said, what I said is between me and Allah. That's it. Original people, they don't share those kind of things. So this is the thing, when we see original, people don't need proof. But for those who make glamour and make themselves what they're not, some of these, mashallah, nowadays you have so many celebrities, all these YouTube shuyukh and Google shuyukh and mashallah, every day they're coming out with their own funny fatwas and things that are way off the deen. But the original, the asl, hardly people know them, Hardly people know who they really are. And on the surface, they look like they're normal people. But people who get to know them realize, oh, this person is something else. So this is how hidayah and guidance works also. People know hidayah and guidance. Even the Bani Israel, they knew 100% that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is the final Nabi. They knew that this deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the deen of Allah. Deep down inside they knew. Even many times when they had a dispute, they would bring it to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. They didn't even go to their rabbis. They used to come to him and say, we have this dispute. He said, why about your rabbi? He said, no. We know you're not going to do any kind of dhulm, We know no one can buy you, Our rabbis, they can be bought. We want you to judge between us with justice. This is how much yaqeen they have. This is how much conviction they had in the truth. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we gave them this miracle. They even saw the Mount of Tur on top of them. We forced them. And at that time we told them, خُذُوا مَا آتَيْنَاكُمْ بِقُوَّةٍ وَاسْمَعُوا. Take whatever we have given you, take it seriously. Biquwa means take it strongly, which means take it seriously. Take it properly. Wasma'u, and listen, meaning obey your prophets. Qalu sami'na, they said sami'na, They say, oh, we heard, we definitely hear you. So the mountain was put back, they stood up and they told Musa alayhi salam, okay, bring the Torah. So they looked at the Torah, this is how we, wa'asayna, so we cannot accept this, we disobey. That's how we can accept it. They used to have trouble with some of the ahkam. They used to say how we can pray 3 times a day. MashaAllah, we have 5 times salah. They say how we can pray 3 times a day. They mention other ahkam, how we cannot deal with riba, how we can do this. How many of the ahkam they were taking one by one. They say how we can do this, how we can do this. In the end they said, okay, fine, we reject. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قَالُوا سَمِعْنَا وَعَصَيْنَا. They said, we heard, but we disobey. وَأُشْرِبُوا فِي قُلُوبِهِمُ الْعِجْلَ بِكُفْرِهِمْ. And they had drunk, the word ushribu, they had drunk, fi qulubihim, in their hearts, al-ijl, the calf, or the worship of the calf, bi kufrihim, because of their disbelief. And ushribu, actually, when we drink something, we absorb it. You drink water, or you drink milk, or whatever you drink, your body absorbs it. So their hearts had absorbed the kufr of worshipping that calf. Because the calf was actually just a symbol of their freedom to obey and worship their desires. In reality, this is the kind of deen that they wanted. Unfortunately, many of us Muslims also, and majority of the people of the world, they're seeking that religion which suits their desires. Because it's very nice to hear that you should fulfill your desires, you should have fun, have freedom. These are very nice slogans. They're very, very nice slogans to have. But in reality, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us such a deen that from day one, we should consider ourselves as ibadullah and ibadur rahman, the slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the slaves of ar-Rahman. And the nature of a slave is that they don't have the freedom to do what they want. They have to do what their master tells them. Similarly, when we accept Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as our Rabb, we become His ibad. We're not free to do what we want. This is what we're saying in every single rak'ah of salah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praises belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is Rabbul Alameen. Indirectly, we're saying, oh Allah, we are your ibad. We're your servants. We're your slaves. We only do whatever you command us to do. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'een. This is what we're saying. But people, the vast majority of humanity, they want a religion that suits their desires. Whatever their nafs says, this is what they want. أَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, have you seen the one who has made his own desires his God? And those desires, the word hawa is used. Those type of desires, it's amazing, even the Arabic language, Even the Arabic language is so amazing. The word hawa, when you get to the letter ha, there's wind involved, there's no organ in your mouth that is used. And the word wa also, hawa. There's no, technically it doesn't have any solid organ that you're using to say hawa. Think about it. Similarly, these are those desires in your life that after you fulfill them, there's nothing there. There's no pleasure there, there's nothing. It's just that moment you want to fulfill them. So people are looking for those kind, that deen, they'll fulfill that momentary desire. Even though that momentary desire will be haram. The drinking of khamr, the involvement in zina, and all of the other haram that is there. They're the kind of religion that people are seeking, that is telling them, allowing them to do these kind of things. But the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set limitations and rules. You cannot have these kind of things. It doesn't help you in any way. It doesn't benefit in any way. And this is the test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That at one moment it will be sweet. Later on it will just do nothing but harm you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that they had eaten that, or they had absorbed in their hearts the kufr of worshipping that calf. And that calf was just a symbol of that religion which a person could just openly and freely obey and fulfill their desires. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in this ayah, ayat number 93, وَأَشْرِبُوا فِي قُلُوبِهِمُ الْعِجْلَ بِكُفْرِهِمْ قُلْ بِئْسَ مَا يَأْمُرُكُمْ بِهِ إِيمَانُكُمْ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, what a terrible thing that you have accepted. If this is what your religion is telling you, then what a terrible thing your religion has told you as far as what your belief is concerned. That worshipping the calf is telling you that you should worship all your desires, have this freedom. We also live in a society in the 21st century. It's amazing. When you start to read the Quran, sometimes you think this revelation has come today, The Quran is telling us, be careful of those societies that are telling you freedom, freedom, freedom. They tell you you're so free. You have all this freedom, but you still have to pay taxes. But I'm a free person. I don't want to pay taxes. I say, okay. How free you are. We can't even drive past the speed limit, how free we are, There's a level of our freedom. They tell you this is the most free country in the world. So much freedom. Yeah, we believe, but even the freedom has to have limits. If you have unlimited freedom, so why are we driving? Why do we have all these speed limits? Why do we have all these red lights? Sometimes it gets annoying. When you're in a hurry, all the lights are red. Especially when you're in a hurry. If you're not in a hurry, mashallah, you have a long road, you can see everything is green, When you're in a hurry, mashallah, you have to get somewhere quickly. Every single light, even if it's 2 o'clock at night, there's nobody on the road, but every single light says, you know what, this person, he seems to be in a hurry. Then mashallah. And you have to stop. This is the freedom this is the country we live in. And you might think, I can keep on going, because at night time you fear the cops even more. You can't even see them. Mashallah, they sit in black cars in the middle of the night. And you have more fear. This is our freedom. So this is what a terrible thing to have. This freedom, when a person is left to himself, they'll do nothing but destroy themselves. This life, everything within this life has to be done within limits. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us and made this life as a test. And test, it has limits. In a test, you cannot put whatever answer you want. You have to give the appropriate and right answer. Otherwise, you give the wrong answer. And then you will fail the test. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, what a terrible ideology you have. If this is what your belief is telling you. Ayat number 94. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ وَرَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمْ. You tell them, إِنْ كَانَتْ لَكُمُ الدَّارُ الْآخِرَةُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ خَالِصَةً مِّن دُونِ النَّاسِ. That, O Bani Israel, you have this belief that the life of the hereafter is yours. That paradise is only for you. مِن دُونِ النَّاسِ, aside from the rest of humanity. You're the only people that's going to make it to paradise. And if this is the case, فَتَمَنَّوُا الْمَوْتِ, so at least wish for death, Yes? When you have this great hope. Our example nowadays, mashallah, we come to America, for those who migrated here. We come to America, and we make a living. But we invest everything back home, All the properties we buy back home. All the homes we buy back home. We build this whole life back home. And the reality is that though we wish to go back, we can never go back, We've had quite a few of our friends They had this desire to go back so much. So they went back, and after a few months they came back. Told them what happened. You had so much, all these properties and business, you were bragging how good life back is back home. They said, yeah, once you taste America. Then they started making other arrangements to sell everything they had. This is the reality of life. We're not happy anywhere. But the Bani Israel, they claim that they have the life of the hereafter. And the reality is, because we made our treasures back home, our hearts are still back home. We still keep up with the politics of back home. We keep up with the economy of back home, wherever back home is. We keep up with the people back home. All our family and friends are back home. We have all these we send all our money back home. We even do our sadaqah and zakah and everything back home. Why? Because our hearts are there. And we yearn to go back. Why? Because we built everything there. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that, tell the Bani Israel that you're claiming that the akhirah is yours. Why don't you yearn for it? فَتَمَنَّوْا الْمَوْتِ, then wish for death. If this is the case, that you're claiming that the akhirah is only for you, paradise is only for you, so then wish for death. In kuntum mu'mineen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you're really believing that this akhirah is only for you. No one else can make it to paradise. Then why don't you yearn for death? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, listen, the reality is, وَلَتَجِدَنَّهُمْ أَحْرَصَ النَّاسِ عَلَىٰ حَيَاءٍ وَمِنَ الَّذِينَ أَشْرَكُوا يَوَدُّ أَحَدُهُمْ لَوْ يُعَمَّرُ أَلْفَ سَنَةٍ. What a powerful statement. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that you'll find them to be more greedy to live, even more than the mushrikeen. They'll have this extreme greed to live. Now, one is desire, one is hirs. Hirs is when you're greedy for something. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَتَجِدَنَّهُمْ, you will definitely find each and every one of them. أَحْرَصَ النَّاسِ عَلَىٰ حَيَاءٍ, they'll be the most greedy to live. وَمِنَ الَّذِينَ أَشْرَكُوا, even more than the mushrikeen. Those who are mushrikeen, who worship other gods and those who indulge in shirk, they have this desire to live forever. You'll find the Bani Israel even more than the mushrikeen who want to live forever. يَوَدُّ أَحَدُهُمْ لَوْ يُعَمَّرُ أَلْفَ سَنَةٍ. Each one will have this desire to live 1,000 years. They're trying to find ways to live for 100 years, 1,000 years. Now there's all this science and medical science, and you'll find many of them have invested so much in medical science in the hopes that they can live forever. They're trying to go through various procedures to live forever. They don't realize this world isn't even worth it. What is this dunya? But they have this hirs. They go through cryogenics now. They have the new system. I don't know if you're up to date with cryogenics. They're trying to put this liquid inside the body to freeze the body. And then after 100 years or so, bring the person back. They don't even know if they can come back. Just go ahead and do it and rid the world of yourselves, man. We're tired of They want to go through cryogenics, by all means, go ahead. At least the rest of the world will be safe from your fitna. But they're also going through other ways now. They found this one animal in this one creature in the ocean, the starfish. I don't know if you know about this new research. The starfish, it has, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created that it can regenerate itself. If you cut off one of its limbs, it regrows that limb. And that limb you cut off, if it is about 20% of the body of the starfish you cut off, then that 20% of the body will regrow another starfish. It's an amazing creature. And now they're trying to find out. They say every 170 years, this creature becomes a new creature. All the cells completely change after 170 years. So now they're trying to find out how they can extract that DNA from this creature and they can put it in themselves. Allahu Akbar al-Kabira. They want to live forever. What is this world? What's so worth living in this dunya? What is this? All the sicknesses, all the headaches, all the problems of this. Do you want to live in this world? What is this dunya? Really, is it really worth it? Well, forget even if somebody doesn't believe in the akhirah. Just ask the people, is this world really what? If nothing else, you have the best life in the world, what happens next? You become bored, All these people with big degrees and big wealth, all these wealthy people, now they're bored with life. They're trying to find the next big thing, Because this world becomes boring. This dunya, so you live for 100. In these 50, 60, 70 years of this life, we become bored. I ask each and every one of you. It was exciting when we got our first job. It was exciting when we started our first business. Now where are we? We're looking for the exit strategy. How I can do something where I sit at home and do nothing. Everybody wants to retire because they're tired of life. This is what retirement is. They're tired of life. And then you go ask, mashallah, the brothers who are retired, go ask them. They're tired of sitting at home. They're looking for another job, We had one of our very, very close friends. He was a very, very big doctor, very accomplished, in many, many positions and trophies he had. So finally he retired, So after 3 months, he went back to, so he went back to the medical field, and he specifically went into where, the consultation. So I asked him, I said, what are you doing? You retired. What happened? He said, yeah, after about 2 months, I realized, what am I doing sitting at home doing nothing? For how long you can do nothing, The life became boring. So now I'm going back into the medical field. You do something your whole life. You get tired of doing it, but you'll go back to it. So this is the reality. Sometimes we have these grand plans. What is life? We have all these grand plans. Inshallah, we'll continue tomorrow. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding and give all of us the tawfiq to practice His deen. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم نور قلوبنا بالقرآن وزين أخلاقنا بالقرآن ونجنا من النار بالقرآن وادخلنا في الجنة بالقرآن. اللهم اجعل القرآن لنا في الدنيا قرينا وفي القبر مونسا وعلى الصراط نورا وفي الجنة رفيقا ومن النار سترا وحجابا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. سبحان الله.